Expert Bill just has to swallow his pride and help Milton out with the van.
Oh my God, take it.
Frank's found a huge army vehicle chassis that's 15 feet long.
Bill, can you come here a second?
Unfortunately, the gap they'll have to bridge is 16 feet.
What do you think?
It's pretty heavy and it's got a lot of stuff on it that we gotta cut off. Ripping it's not that bad, it's just
time
it's heavy, you know what I'm saying?
It could be the basis of a single-piece bridge, but it needs to be stripped down and extended.
There's no other frames out here that you guys can see?
No, I looked everywhere, man.
With the clock ticking, Bill reluctantly agrees to the change in plan.
Guys, you have 7 hours. 7 hours.
2, 1.
Jesus.
That frame is going nowhere fast. They'll have to strip it right down to have a hope of shifting it.
The Canadian junkies have almost finished their cutting.
Let the sun shine in.
California stuff.
They can now concentrate on building their bridge, and with the trailer straightened out, their main beams are almost complete.
Are you feeling confident, comfortable?
Oh, totally. I'm figuring we're either on or ahead of schedule. Originally, before we started this, we set ourselves a goal. We were figuring, you know, we should be able to bang this off in 6 hours.
Right.
The only thing that worries us is the design of the car. We have nothing to really mount anything solid onto.
Right.
So we're going to really have to do some magic on this little car.
With confidence running high, none of the junkies are worried about becoming flunkies.
We heard that there's a lot of beer in the fridge, and we figure the faster we get done, the more beer we get in the end, and that's pretty well why we're moving so fast.
Hey,
so far so good.
Things are going so well, the junkies stop for an early toast.
But there's no cause for celebration in the Gearheads camp. Frank's been working on that frame for over an hour now.
Let's go.
man, I can't believe we're building a bridge out of this. The thing is that we want to be able to use it to haul the American Army around. The US Army, Navy, everybody.
So is this going to be the whole bridge?
Basically, what we're going to do is cut it in half and make it wider.
Instead of a scissor, the new bridge will be just one piece. Suspended off the back of the van, the winch system will lower the bridge over the gap like a drawbridge. The team will then drive across the bridge before picking it up and winching it back in. So we've simplified the plan.
Yes.
Good. I'm very pleased to hear that. So plan A is in the junkyard where it belongs. It's another enormous piece of equipment to add to the Gearheads' hefty armoury. There's been massive upheaval and revolution over here.
What is this thing?
I think it's part of the chassis of some sort of military truck. But they've done away with the whole scissory, twizzly, winchy, it's all gone.
Okay.
And they're just going with that stuck on the back of their van, basically.
Things are going okay over on the Canadian junkie side, though.
You're not getting soft on them, are you? Because
No,
of
not
a
at all.
certain allegiance.
No, I'm actually harder on them than I am on any other team because they're holding up the flag. You know, you got to make sure that they at least do us proud in Canada, and I think they are.
I always worry when there's this much confidence.
I know. You're just waiting for the little click. Wow.
The Canada junkies, we're here at the yard. We're rolling up our sleeves, and we're working real hard.
But with the temperature reaching 95 degrees in the shade, the Canadians are starting to overheat.
Because we got a lot of work ahead of us to be
The Gearheads have more important things on their mind than the weather.
You cut this,
Right.
cut the roof off, and then we'll start laying this out. Things have changed a lot on the Miami Gearhead side, haven't they?
Absolutely. They finally said to themselves, enough of the complexity, enough of the scissors. Let's keep it simple, stupid.
But the Gearheads still have to solve a fundamental problem with their bridge beams.
They're going to have to make their bridge longer. The rails that they're working with is right now a foot shorter than the gap. The difficulty there is they're going to have to find members which are roughly the same size and the same stiffness and then weld them to the end of this. And that'll be the area, if the bridge is going to fail, that'll be the area which will take the most load.
Now, we come to the other side, the Canadian junkies, and, you know, I got to be honest with you, it doesn't look like much has changed over on this side of the room since the last time we talked.
Well, I'd love to argue with you. I can't argue with you on that one.
Would you like to change your vote?
It's getting harder. I got to say it's getting harder. My fear, though, is the Miami team is there's not enough time. They need to get their act going, stupid, and get going. I still put my $5 on the Canadian team.
So we got to make this longer, like 3 feet longer.
The Miami team have to find the right materials to lengthen their bridge, or they're sunk.
So will their radical change of plan help the Gearheads hit overdrive, or will those cool Canadians leave them trailing? Join us after the break.
Welcome back to Junkyard Wars, where the Canadian Junkies and the Miami Gearheads are blowing hot and cold as they struggle to build their mighty bridging machines.
He needs to get the material for that, and maybe, like, you know, some extra material like pipe or something.
This is what I want you to do first.
With 5 hours to go, the Miami Gearheads have only just started work on their van-mounted drawbridge.
2 feet, that takes us to...
And right now, their bridge beams are still a foot shorter than the gap.
Almost. How long did you make them build? 5 foot?
Hold on, let me think about this real quick. So if I go 2.5...
Way ahead of them are the Canada Junkies, whose lightweight trailer bridge is taking shape. But while Kevin is searching for souvenirs, expert Richard is worried about weight.
If we use a 4-foot tongue off the trailer, we're probably going to be pushing about 1,000 pounds on here. And this car on the front axle, without anybody in it, is probably only about 750 pounds.
The Junkies' design relies on jacking one end of the bridge down to lift the far end up. But if the bridge is too heavy, the jack will merely lift the car rather than the bridge. To make the bridge lighter, the Junkies have made 2 modifications. They're going to replace the lever arms on either end of the bridge with a single movable lever arm, and they'll use just 1 set of movable wheels. It's a good plan, as the lighter bridge should mean they can cross the gap in a jiffy. But with half the day gone, they need to hurry up and get on with it.
This beam is perfect for extending the Gearheads bridge by the few feet they need. It should mean they keep their vehicle and themselves dry.
If we tell the truth, which we can do because we're out of earshot of the teams, we want to see some people getting wet, don't we?
Hey, man, I just hope everybody can swim. Can the Junkies swim?
I checked.
Okay.
I checked, because I was worried about them.
I haven't checked if the Miami Gearheads can swim.
Well, I'm sure they must.
I'm sure. It's all water around there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The Gearheads are wrestling with their weighty winch. Somehow the 4 of them have to get it off the ground and onto the van.
Let's get the other side back.
But disaster strikes.
I need a medic.
Bill's cut his hand.
Now just pivot it up and in. It's bad. It's bad. It's going to be stitches.
While he goes off for medical attention, the others struggle on.
Now, Frank, align it with the hole there. How you guys doing?
How are you doing?
I got to go to the hospital. It's going to be like 2 or 3 stitches. All right, but you guys are doing great.
What happened here?
I was coming over as we were trying to get this on the van, and my fist came up like this and just cut it on that.
Wow, so you got to go and get a couple of stitches.
Yeah.
Is it hurting, or is it?
It doesn't hurt. I want to stay here. I can't stay
Yeah,
here.
it must be so frustrating. But are they sorted on the plan, do you think?
I think so.
Well, good luck. You should get off there.
Okay.
I don't know if your comms work in hospital. They can phone in questions.
My mom. How do I believe this?
It's the unkindest cut of all. With Bill off to the hospital, the Gearheads have just 2 chances of finishing in time, Slim or none. And Slim just left town.
You've only got 3 hours left to build your amazing bridging machines.
Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock.
Twisted.
The Canada Junkies plan to drive their car along the narrow beams that run the length of the bridge. But without some kind of wheel guides, the Junkies will become the Dunkies. Eager Beaver Mike may have found the answer.
At the moment, the Junkies crossing will be more like a tightrope act. The slightest mistake and they're in for a soaking. To solve the problem, they're going to cut Mike's fencing into sections and weld them inside the rails to act as guides. Hopefully this will be enough to keep them on the straight and very narrow.
While Mike gets to work on the wheel guides, expert Richard is back welding the bridge. After 7 hours work, there are still bits missing.
There's no wheels on it. What have you guys been doing?
Slide in. It looks rough, but we're closer than it looks.
At the beginning of the day, you're up, lots of energy, doing stuff, and then you guys, it seemed like you took a nap in the afternoon, and now it seems like a frantic rush to the finish here. I mean, am I right or am I wrong?
You know, to be honest, Tyler, it did seem like we had lost some time somewhere, and Yeah, I don't know.
It's probably when you guys all left and went to the beach and then came back a couple hours later.
To give the other team a better chance. Or maybe we gave them too much of a chance.
Maybe.
But,
they're working like the Dickens over there. I mean, I know you can't see it, but they're really at it right now.
2 feet in, 3 feet out. Go do that and we'll take care of this. You want to start cutting, Milton, if you want to get working on that over there. Kill Canada!
We're down here for 2 minutes.
Now that he has undisputed control, Frank wants to change expert Bill's design yet again.
I still want to change the plan in the back the way that Bill wanted to build it. We're taking a risk that when we start winching it up, the bridge might fall off.
Bill's plan for mounting the bridge on the van meant the Gearheads ran the risk of the bridge bouncing off mid-race. Frank's solution is to fit pieces of pipe on each end of the bridge. A mount at the back of the van will have another pipe welded to it. When a bridge is placed on the mount, the pieces of pipe should all line up, and a pin can be slung in from either side, providing a pivot for the bridge and ensuring it never falls off.
Whatever we're going to do, it's got to hold it, and we'll hold it.
Okay, let's go for it then. John, the only thing constant is change, it seems, and especially when you're talking about the Miami Gearheads, because they've done it again. They've changed everything.
We were always trying to figure out how were they ever going to get this bridge on and off their vehicle. Well, what they've done is they've come up with a really, I think, is a clever solution. What they've done is they've basically cut some cylindrical tubes that they're going to weld onto either side, and they're going to make it effectively a door hinge.
That's a stroke of genius, really.
It's a stroke. I don't know if I'd ever go genius at this point in time.
Time to put your money where your mouth is. You had it here on the Canadian Junkies before. Any chance maybe you might want to shift?
This is tough. This is really tough. Early on in the day, I was looking at a Canadian team that basically had a bridge nearly done. 7 hours later, I'm looking at a bridge that's still almost done. But you gotta love this Miami team. My gut feeling says they're not gonna finish it. There's no way they're gonna get it done in time. But just in style points and just for working hard, I'm gonna go with the Miami team.
No one seems to have told Frank they can't finish in time.
Milton, the pipe! Throw me the pipe!
You've only got 1 hour to go, teams. 1 hour.
The Junkies finally get to work building their jacking system, but Kevin's making very slow progress. The jacking system has to be firmly attached to the car for it to work. The Junkies' idea is to weld an A-frame over the car's engine and attach the jack firmly underneath. The bottom end of it will be attached to a hinged tongue. As the jack is expanded, the tongue will be forced down, pushing on the lever arms of the bridge and lifting the far end of it. The system should work, but if Kevin doesn't get a move on, the river might have dried up.
You know this thing's not straight, eh, Gary?
Yeah.
Okay.
Richard and Gary are concentrating on the precision job of positioning the wheel guides. A mistake here, and the car and their hopes will go off the rails.
Richard quickly welds the movable lever arm together. Their whole plan relies on the robustness of this ramshackle assembly.
Teams, you have 30 minutes. 30 minutes. And for those of you from Canada, you're like totally running out of time, eh?
Reassure me about a few things over here. You push this down.
This will hook onto the
front of the car
where the jack is.
Yep.
And we'll jack pushes down, which will push down on this.
Right.
Which will make it rotate around the wheels and come up on the other side.
Gotcha, okay.
Bill is back, but bandaged beyond belief. With time against them, even Bill's return may turn out to be too little, too late for the Gearheads. But Frank is still driving him hard.
What do you got? What do you got? Total.
I was going to see if I can slip in here. And Milton, how we doing? Is it coming together the way you want?
Kind of, yeah. We'll probably need...
What about time? Are you going to run out of time here or what?
Great. Milton, no moving.
So based on what you guys have right now, do you guys think this is actually going to, is it going to work?
Definitely.
I don't want to bug them any more than I have to because I think they've got heavy wrenches and stuff, and I think they're going to hit me. So I'm just going to go and get out of here. They scare me. I don't want to go back in there. Tag here.
Okay, try to get them.